Hey everyone, this is going to be a pretty hard topic for me. Today I'm going to talk about depression and suicide. During my life, I've seen a couple of people that I knew very well be lost to depression and then commit suicide. I had a track buddy that I would run track season with, and she was a pretty nice girl, but she was one of the fastest girls I know. She could actually keep up with me, so she was pretty talented. And we'd always kind of have bets with each other to see who could beat each other. And I think our time was 11 minutes flat, what we were shooting for the 2 mile. But then one day, when it was coming back down to indoor season, when I'd see her again, I found out that she had committed suicide. And while I didn't know her very well at the time, I did miss her, because we race competitively. You still miss your rival. And then I had a few other people that I actually lost my cousin as well. I found him in his dorm room, which is kind of scary considering, because that's where I almost died too, was in my dorm room. Because there was a time where I was in a really bad place. Really bad. And I'm not going to go into the specifics here, but over time, I had something that just kept beating me down over and over, to the point where I felt like nothing. I felt myself growing colder and colder, until I didn't feel like I had any emotion anymore. I felt broken. As I said, I'm not going to go into the specifics, but when I was in my dorm room one day, I had a moment, because sometimes you're fine, sometimes you're not. It just sort of happens in a brief instant where you start having these thoughts. And I held a knife over my chest, and I could hear my heart beating. I could just hear a voice in my head just saying, "Let go. Let go, Michael. You just want to end it all. All the pain will be gone." But I couldn't do it. I froze. And then another voice came in my head and said, "You have more to do here." And that's what I held on to. I know some people aren't going to have that sort of experience, but I can tell you maybe what you can do to help yourself. Now, before I get into this, I want to say, if you're going through one of these moments, contact a counselor or the Suicide National Hotline. I'll put it down below in the links. and be with friends, because they're going to help you get through it. But what I want to tell you, and why I'm bringing this up, is because during that time I was waking up, and I had to see a lot of crap, and I went through a lot of emotional healing to get out of that spot. And some people may say emotional healing's not enough. Well, you may as well try. So I'm going to tell you what I saw. When you're in those depths, those really bad depths, you can start to create things within yourself that start to speak to you, that have become so tortured that they will say to kill yourself, or that you're worthless and you're stupid. And some people may even have heard of something called the critic, where you become so critical of yourself to the point where you no longer feel like you're worth anything. But I'm going to tell you, because we are multi-dimensional beings, and for some of you that don't know what that means, I'm going to kind of explain what that means. When you think for a moment, when you think up here, you feel inside your head up here, right? And then when you feel love, or like someone did something really nice to you that makes you feel warm in here, you're thinking in here in your heart. And that tells you that you have different minds within yourself, both on the emotional level and on the mental level. And what I began to see was different blocks of energy started to appear, and that basically means that a part of your life where you had something really bad happen to you, and in that moment, a part of yourself was frozen forever. Like if you had a boyfriend or girlfriend break up with you, and it was a really terrible one, and you felt like a part of your heart was ripped out, just taken. You have a big empty void, so to speak. That's what a block is. And this doesn't describe all blocks, but those can turn into voices. And after a while, they start getting louder and louder until you can't take it anymore. And after a while, you start to feel nothing, because everything's cut off from you. And what I mean by that is, when you feel that hole in your chest, a part of you has literally, not necessarily died, but is separate from you now. And it's almost become a totally different entity of itself. And you can kind of see this when you get upset when someone talks about something very sensitive to you. That part of yourself crops back up. And so when you go through this emotional healing and this work, that you begin to see those, and you begin to work with yourself and say, hey, what can I do for you? And what can we do to get back to where we can be part of the same team again? Because some people, they heal on their own because someone tells them that they're beautiful again, or they're handsome, or I guess even sexy, I guess, if you're in the relationship sort of sense. Or if you've lost kids. I lost my baby. My wife was going to have a little one back last year. We lost it in a miscarriage. That hurts. And no matter, even if you know where they're going, you still miss them. But I can tell you, with all what I've said here, is be with yourself and talk to yourself. Be with friends, maybe even talk to a counselor if you can. But the point is, you don't have to be alone during this either, as you heal. As you heal these blocks within yourself, be with somebody that you trust that's going to help keep your spirits up and keep you alive. Because I know some people that while they're strong, and a lot of you may hate asking for help. I know I'm that sort of person. I hate asking for help. That's why I've fought from doing this video for so long, because I don't like to appear vulnerable. But what I can tell you is, even the strongest person needs someone to say, hey, it's okay. And just holds their hand or gives them a hug. And you're not weak for that. You're not. But all in all, if you've watched my previous videos, I can tell you how to find a block now. And that's what I'm going to do here. Close down your eyes. Say, I want to take myself back to this time. And you may see some memories start to flood before your eyes as your eyes are closed. And while you're doing this, you may see an image of yourself or your younger self in this point. Go up and talk to him or her and say, hey, I'm here. And then just talk with them, because you're going to know what to say and to help them get through this. And as you work with yourself like this, you'll start to feel warmer and more alive again. Anyway, one other way you can find blocks within yourself is energetically. I've taught you guys how to feel energy and move it through your body. What it will feel like is you may run up against something really hard, or even where it feels like you can't get through, or maybe even feels like pebbles, or you may even see an image in your mind that's looks like a black rock or a black sphere. That's a block. And so what you can do is you can begin to cup your energy around it and then say, what are you? And then you may get a response. And otherwise, sometimes it may take time to gain some blocks as trust, because a lot of parts in yourself have been secluded for so long that they don't trust you anymore. As I said, these parts of you have become a different entity of sorts. And so it may take time for them to grow to trust you again. Now, I don't want anyone to think that it's like everything's all in your head, because it kind of does seem like that, what I'm saying, but it's actually quite the opposite. Because depression is real, whether it's driven by your own mental processes and things that have happened in your life, or a chemical imbalance. It's a very real thing. And suicide's also a real thing. But that's why I'm bringing this up, because I don't want to see any more of my friends lost to it. And to my point, when I said it becomes a different entity almost, it sort of does. That's why many people hear that voice in the back of their head, because literally it's become almost something else until you begin to talk with it again, and you get to see that deeper piece of it as it goes down and you reach into it, that you get to see that it is actually you. And this isn't easy. This, far from it. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll put those links down below for the Suicide National Hotline. And if you decide to use any of these techniques, it's on your own terms. And I've shared them with you because I think they can help. Good luck.